Starting with some quests, we have new main scenario quests added, starting with the Royal Invitation from Bal Waruk in Tuliolo. Then several others for this new update. Chronicles of a New Era quest have been added. Echoes of Vanadiel. I can't tell where this is because it doesn't look like. See, the floating pieces is really confusing me. I don't know where that's from. Echoes of Vanadiel are completely separate from the new MSQ quest. It would seem. I thought it was to be like one and the same for some reason. This is very interesting. Wait, an epilogue to Pandemonium. Players must first complete the Chronicles of a New Era quest guided by the past. Wait, so this is gonna tie into Pandemonium somehow? That's so weird. There's a Pandemonium epilogue. I don't know what we're gonna be talking about there, but that should be interesting. Ooh, this is huge. This is really huge. Having a, oh my gosh, yeah, not having one of these over on this section of the map was really tedious. Do this edition's position of certain monsters, elite marks, and treasure hunt coffers has been adjusted. Okay. So our routes for A train hunts and S trains is now different. Tier design of the estate can now be changed. Yeah, they were talking about this. So it looks like it's just simply clicking and looking at it and then changing the interior style. You have to have the authorization. In the case of free company estates, you must also have the hall remodeling authorization. Furthermore, you're free to change your estate's interior design as many times as you like. It doesn't look like it costs anything, weirdly enough. Skipping over that. New hairstyles. Oh, that's sick. That's a nice feature. I'm not gonna lie, this hairstyle looks terrible. I think it looks really bad. It looks like a scummy villain in an anime. You know what I'm talking about? Or like an anime character with like the long hair that's out in the rain. Or like a manhwa male lead. I think this looks awful. I don't know. These also don't look super good. I also think it's the hair color for this one, to be honest. This is okay. These are also... I think it's because they're all flat. Like, this is more wavy at the end, but they're all flat on the head. And there's just something about, like, taking your hair and just flattening it that looks awful. My hair's not even, like, prepped for today. I haven't done anything to it, but I still think flattening your hair down a ton looks egregious. Some people can pull it off. Oh my goodness, the back hair, dude. What? Wait. What shirt does this? What? That would be so confusing. Everyone would constantly, in today's world, if you wore the shirt, everyone would be like, hey, you got your shirt on backwards, and you turn around and you look like that. They'd be like, never mind. What? Anyway, moving on from all of those awful hairstyles. Personal opinion, I'm sorry if you like any of them, but they're terrible. New emotes have been added. We're going to be shaking stuff up. Okay, cool. We can make each other drinks. All right, I had seen this earlier. This is really cool. Being able to do all of these emotes while sitting on the ground is really nice because I really do like when I'm like just chilling with people and I'm able to like emote at them with any of my emotes that I got going on. Because I feel like because like otherwise you have to like sit up out of the chair and then you emote at them and you sit back down. And it's just kind of like, it's like I go to church meetings in Final Fantasy. And we're sitting around and I like sometimes want to like wave or like do something while someone else is talking in the voice channel. So that'll allow me to do that. Or maybe I just really like the position my character's in. But it also adds a lot more to G-Pose. Battle system. Here's the juicy part. Finally. So starting with Paladin, I don't have a lot of experience in some of these classes. But cover. Range has been extended from 10 to 20 yawns. Looking for cover. There it is. Take all damage intended for another party member as long as said member remains within 20 yawns. So, cover, which was a like... Wait, do you dash to them? No, you just... I guess you just take it. Very cool. Okay, so essentially akin to Piccolo jumping in front of the beam for Gohan and then dying, Paladin can now do this at a further range, giving them more utility. Very nice. Intervene, acquired at level 66, previously acquired at level 74. Rushes target and delivers an attack with a potency of 150. Okay. So this is a gap closer? 2 charges? It looks like it's the gap closer. Wait, why do you get a gap closer so late? That's crazy. Hallowed Ground. The effects of this action will now be applied earlier. What in the world does that mean, Kobe Bryant? Renders you impervious to most attacks. Duration 10 seconds. Wait, so effects of this action will now be applied earlier. So I guess there was like a, I don't know, an animation disconnect. Okay. Nothing too crazy. Look at Marauder slash Warrior. Starting with Home Gang. The effects of this action will now be applied earlier. Brace yourself for an enemy onslaught, preventing most attacks from reducing your HP to less than 1. Okay, so that's their invuln. So their invuln will now be activated earlier, which also means, you know, something to keep in mind is that if these actions are being applied earlier, that means your duration. Yeah, range being doubled on anything is crazy always. Yeah, that's really nuts with the cover move. What I was saying is that if it's activating earlier, your duration is going to start earlier. So that's going to mess with some people's... that's probably going to mess with some people on the rotation. Or, well, not the rotation for this one. But, like, any action that's in your rotation that's going to be doing this, just keep in mind your duration is now changed. So any internal clock that you've built up over time, you're going to have to readjust it now. So have fun with that. Chaotic Cyclone. Okay, well, here we go again. The hit detection for this action will now trigger earlier. Its instant weapon skill delivers a critical direct hit with a potency of 300 to all nearby enemies. Damage dealt is increased when under an effect that raises critical hit rate or direct hit rate. Additional effect reduces the recast time of Infuriate by 5 seconds. Beast Gauge costs 50. So again, if this is happening earlier, if it was already an instant cast and it's just happening earlier in the animation, all the effects it does, you're getting your Beast Gauge cost faster from this. So I don't know if this is only for multiple enemies or if this is like Viper, where Viper has a lot of AoE stuff that still goes into its main rotation. But you're now getting a critical hit faster. You're getting reduction of recast timer for Infuriate faster. You're getting your Beast Gauge cost faster when you press the move. So just keep that in mind. It's going to affect your rotation, probably, if it's part of the rotation. If it's part of your AoE rotation for multiple enemies, it's still affecting that one, even if it's not affecting your single boss target. Dark Knight. Oh, goodness. All right, Dark Knight I do play, so this one I'm going to have a bit more insight on, and there's a lot more to talk about, so that's cool. Oh, you can see which ones are updated over here. Very cool. Starting with Dark Mind, which is, I believe, the single... target reduction of physical damage taken by 10% and magic damage taken by 20%. So it did not used to reduce physical damage. So that's a very interesting change. That honestly, so already Dark Knight has gotten a huge tank upgrade. Effects of this action will now be applied earlier. Same thing as with Warrior just a second ago. We have faster activation of all the effects of Living Dead. Okay. So it's just happening faster. Cure potency is increased from 200 to 500. That is nuts. That's crazy. Because deals unexpected damage with a potency of 240 to target and all enemies nearby it. So the way this works, when you throw Abyssal Drain into like a group of enemies, you get healed for every enemy it hits. The fact that it is now 500 and restores your MP is insane. You could go absolutely ballistic with very little mitigation in the midst of like a huge pool, say on like Mount Gulg, and then you throw this move into a group of enemies, you're getting a cure potency of, instead of what it was before of 200 for every one it hits, it is now 500 for every person it hits. That's insane. That's ridiculous. That is actually ridiculous. So, way more tanky than it used to be. Go away. Carve and Spit seems to be getting the same effect, although they share a recast timer, so not very surprising. The additional effect restores own HP has been added with a cure potency of 500. Yeah, that's true. I just remembered that it didn't have this before, so this is single target, so it won't have the same effect as Abyssal Drain as getting with every single person you hit. That's nuts. So Carve and Spit has a purpose now. If you need to get healed, but you want to do a bunch of extra damage on a single target, now it can do the same thing that Abyssal Drain does, but with more potency. So your AoE rotation, your single target rotation. Now that they do the same thing. Now you don't have to be like, well, my HP is really low and one of the healers is dead and the other one's trying to revive that person and the boss is going to kill me. I guess I'll throw Abyssal Drain, although it's going to lower my damage. Don't got to do that no more. Now you got Carve and Spit to take that place. Very cool. I do like that a lot. Blood Spiller. Delivers an attack with a potency of 600. Blood gauge cost 50. So what was the change? From 580 to 600? Okay, so we got another damage upgrade. Well, not another damage upgrade, but we got a damage upgrade. Making yet another attack ridiculous. Let's see, is this one the... Okay, so this one's the single target. And that's also still insane. And Dark Missionary got an upgrade too? Now acquired at level 66. Okay, so now you get it earlier. Already crazy. Now also reduces physical damage taken by 5%. That's insane. And this is an AoE damage reduction for your party. So that's really good. And we got 3 potency increase from 600 to 620, 700 to 720, 800 to 820. 820. So Dark Knight as a whole became more tanky and got a huge damage upgrade, whereas like none of the other tanks got this so far. Making Dark Knight, which was not doing too hot compared to the other tanks, now has more options for damage reduction in both physical damage and healing it themselves, and also just more damage overall. All right, well now we got to go over Gunbreaker. Let's see what Gunbreaker got. Automatically, we got a cure potency increase from 200 to 300. Aurora, which is a regen that lasts for 18 seconds for 2 charges. And it can target anybody. So that's pretty good. I mean, having an increased regen, always very, very good. Super Bolide, which got the effect of this action will now be applied earlier. No longer reduces HP to 1 and instead increases HP to 50% of maximum. So that's a huge upgrade from my understanding, because it was always a super huge, like, Gunbreaker was hard because it hurts yourself, from my understanding. Like, with this move. That's insane. I can't even begin to describe how ridiculous that is. That makes Gunbreaker way more viable. Like, I can't. I mean, think 1 HP to 50% of your maximum. That's really good. I don't know how much this is going to affect like their pick rate for people who have all of the tanks and their effectiveness in battle. I mean, this makes Dark Knight really good, like really good now. It was already okay. It just wasn't hitting the same numbers, but this is crazy good of a difference. Now also reduces physical damage taken by 5%. So this is a magical damage. So this is essentially Dark Missionary for Gunbreaker. So that's doing the same thing. Need more water. And some breakfast in a second. Potency has been reduced from 180 to 160. Okay. Potency increase from the trait melee mastery 2 has been changed from 220 to 200. So we have a nerf. Finally. I don't think we've had like we have not had a nerf yet. This is the first nerf on this list, I think. Delivers an attack with a potency of 200. Okay. I'm executing when ready to blast. Alright. Double down. Cartridge cost has been reduced from 2 to 1. 2 nerfs. 2 nerfs to Gunbreaker. 1 incredible buff. A couple of really good buffs. And then 2 nerfs. That's unfortunate. Drop by 20 potency too. I mean, like, that's a decent difference. Okay. Going on to Dragoon. We're getting into the melee classes now. Monk did not get updated, which is hilarious to me. They said, it's fine. Maybe they didn't want to change anything about Monk because people are already confused enough as it is. And they're like, we can't change Monk. If we change Monk, they're going to complain even more that they don't know what's going on with their own class. He's been crying. He's been over there crying for like half a day. Why? What is he doing? He's trying to learn the Monk rotation. Piercing Talon. The trait Lance Mastery will now increase potency from 150 to 200. A 50 potency increase. That's very good. Great buff right off the rip. The effect Enhanced Piercing Talon has been added, which increases potency to 350. What? Another 150 buff? What are we doing? What? Enhanced Piercing Talon. Well, I don't know where you get the enhanced from. I'm sure we'll find out at some point. Elusive Jump. The backflip. The additional effect grants enhanced. You have to backflip to get the enhanced. The fact this is level 15 is really funny to me. I want you to think about for 2 seconds how many people backflip off of Titan, off of when they're new to the game, they're backflipping off of Titan, off of I don't even know what else. Like even high level Dragoon players every once in a while make a blunder. But now you've made it so we have they not only do they have it in increased potency on Piercing Talon, they can now get 150 extra potency on the attack by backflipping. Who's not going to do that? They've given this move a great extra thing to do with it other than just dodge and attack. Also, funny enough, think about this for 2 seconds. This means that while they do have this gap closer, if they need to get out of something like a dancer or a white mage, they probably won't have it now because, I mean, the recast timer is 30 seconds. but like, so not only is this removing their get out of jail free card for an AoE they accidentally found themselves in, because they probably want to have it if they have the ability to buff an attack by 150 potency. Who's not doing that? That's insane damage to not do. So they're definitely throwing this in the rotation more often. But also, the increased chance of them dying on bosses or ending up in the death field surrounding the edge is insanely high. Now, they're in melee distance, so they should not be backflipping very far. But this also has a 20 yalms range, which is really good for a boss battlefield. So if they're at a distance, say they're doing M2S, and they're in the middle of Mario Kart, and they are in between a couple of the line AoEs, and they need to get out of the line AoEs. This person tries to backflip away from HB and get into a good position, and they're like, this should be good enough, and their foot just clips that wall. They're dead. I mean, like, and this is like one of their best ranged attacks now. And in Mario Kart, like, you have to have some good range attacks set up to continue doing damage for uptime, especially considering the way this M2S works. And it's not just that fight. I mean, like, but this also removes some uptime because you're backflipping 15 yalms away. So, but then you have to like think about this because it's a 20 yalm range. If you're 5 yalms away, if you're 10 yalms away from the target and you do this backflip, you then cannot do this. So then you have to take time hopping on forward and then hit it like. This is going to require a minor bit of thinking and getting used to the muscle memory of how far you backflip when using elusive jump. Because if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know the distance, this is messing up so many Dragoons immediately, especially new ones. They will be backflipping off of Titan to get this extra 350 without a doubt. Without a doubt. First time Titan players are dead. They're dead. Okay? If they're Dragoon, they're dead. A lot more than normal. It was already a meme. It's going to be so much more of a meme. I'm so ready for this to be a problem. It's going to be hilarious. I had talked about that for way too long. Let's move on. All right. Stacks of Nastron Ready granted has been reduced from 3 to 1. Okay. That sounds like a huge nerf. So you only get 1 Nastron Ready from this? I don't know what Nastron Ready does, but that sounds like garbage. Unless they buffed the other ones. Potency has been increased from 300 to 600. Yeah. Potency has been increased. Potency increase from the trait Lance Mastery 3 has been changed from 360 to 720. Okay, so that's also really good. Potency has been increased from 620 to 720. For Stardiver, potency increase from the trait Melee Mastery has been changed from 720 to 820. So 100 potency difference for this one, and then a 300 potency difference for these two. Well, 300 for this one. These potency differences are kind of insane. Starcross range has been increased from 3 to 20 yalms. How is Dragoon not like 15, 20, 20? How is this not a ranged melee? Am I crazy? It feels like this is a ranged melee at this point. Now, it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not as distanced as like 25, 25, 25, 30, you know, like Dancer definitely has longer range. I'm sure Machinist has even more. 25, 25, 25. I feel like at this point, I feel like just make Dragoon a range melee. Is that a crazy thing to say? I get they're holding a spear. I get that. But Dancer throws out like something that's not shaped like a boomerang and it just comes back. Absolutely unhinged. I mean, like, Dragoon has so many ranged attacks. Just increase the range of all of them. Now, the problem with this is the backflip. If they made everything ranged, then the backflip becomes incredibly deadly. So I do admit that would be a problem. But just change it from a backflip to like a dash forward move. I'm interested to see what they did with Viper. I bet it's a nerf. I bet it's a nerf. Starting off with Ninja, trait Melee Mastery 2 will now increase potency from 120 to 200. Additional effect increases Ninki gauge by 5. Okay, so just a simple damage upgrade. It's good. Dream Within a Dream potency has been increased from 150 to 180. Okay. Each hit with a potency of 180. That's pretty cool. So Ninja's got another buff. Doku Mori attack has been changed from single target to a cone, dealing damage with a potency of 300 to the first target and 25% less for all remaining targets. Okay, I kind of wish they had said what the potency is or was before. Didn't exactly explain that. But okay, so I have no idea what it used to be. Tenshi Jin. Players can now move while under the effect of Tenshi Jin. Jindo. The hit detection for this action will now trigger earlier. They're level 100. 1100. It's an AoE. I feel like a lot of DPS got like a level 100 AoE attack, which is interesting. Samurai. All right, Ninja just seems to be like a lot of damage buffs. And it's, I guess, increased movement with that one ability. Starting with Isatsu Gyoten. Recast time has been reduced from 10 to 5 seconds. So now you get this faster, which is a target rush, delivering a potency of 100. And it costs a gauge, but it seems to be a gap closer. Is that your only gap closer on Samurai? You need a gauge to get a gap closer, but it's only 10. I have not played Samurai, so I have no idea like how good or bad that is. Going all the way down to here to Gyofu. Potency has been increased from 230 to 240, so 10 potency buff increase. Zanshin has the potency increase from 820 to 900, which is also a cone AoE, so that's 60% less instead of 50, the normal 50. If it was 50, yeah, that would be very, very busted. But that's still really good. Going down here to the level 100 are changed. Character emotions and visual effects of this action have been changed. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, Samurai's update was kind of boring. All right. I know a little bit about Reaper. Got it to like 86. So let's go and look at this. Arcane Circle change. Circle of Sacrifice effect now grants stacks of Immortal Sacrifice when you or party members successfully land an ability. The hit detection of this action will now trigger earlier. So rear attack, 700. Okay. So that's just happening a little faster again. That'll change rotations, but nothing too crazy there. Let's go to Machinist. Rude. Bard did not get anything. Poor Bard, man. continues to be garbanzo beans. All right. Potency has been increased from 140 to 160. Combo potency has been increased from 400 to 420. Very cool. They do need more damage, so this is already starting off good. Potency has been increased from 220 to 240 for blazing shot. And then flamethrower is got an increased range from 8 to 12 yalms. It's very good. Potency has been increased from 80 to 100. The sunlight is hitting real strong. So we got another 20 potency buff. Double check. AoE got a buff up to 170, and Checkmates got a buff up to 170. So a good few potency upgrades for Machinist. I think they definitely needed that because they were falling behind. So that's good for them. Let's see. Let's move on to Dancer. Delivers an attack with a potency of 180, and that is a 30 potency buff. Curing Waltz. Area of effect has been increased from 3 to 5 yalms. Fan Dance. Straight Dynamic Dancer will now increase potency from 200 to 220. Cool. Is there one more? No, okay. So a couple potency increases and a range increase. Not the bid. Black Mage. Flare's cast time got decreased by 2 seconds. So pretty good. Pretty good start. Added a second charge to ley lines. So that brings Black Mage up a little bit. You cast timer instant. So before Astral Fire, Enhanced Astral Fire, I guess the Despair cast time is not instant. Effect potency has been reduced from 33% to 32%. Crimson Cyclone. The additional effect grants Crimson Strike Ready has been added. The effect ends upon the execution of summoner actions. No longer a combo action, instead requires the effect of Crimson Strike Ready for execution. So they've removed a combo action and now have a stack action. Potency increased by 50 on Ifrit, 50 on Titan, and 50 on Garuda. All to 800, and potency increase of 100 on Sunflare. That's a really good buff for Summoner on damage. I still feel like they're... From my understanding, Summoners are still just not super happy with the class. Not in its damage or its effectiveness, just... It's not fun for them, apparently. I definitely think they need to take the time to sit down and really consider how they're going to handle this class, because before it was, I don't remember the exact problem that it was having, but then they streamlined everything into the way Summoner is now, and everyone was super excited about it because they're like, oh, look at all these new summons and look at all these things that we could do, and this is crazy. We're actually like a summoner now. We're actually summoning things. And then it's apparently like really straightforward and really boring. And I can't deny that I feel like they're doing that to a few of the classes, especially the melee classes have been reduced to like, okay, you got to do these actions in this order, and we're going to make it very obvious for which ones you're going to have to do. Now, Monk is still really complicated with the way they changed things for Dawntrail. Endwalker was fine. I mean, it was a little rough, but it was fine. Dawntrail made Monk really confusing. But like Viper is super straightforward on what you're supposed to do. It's so easy. Like, messing up the opener is near impossible, unless the boss themselves makes it impossible for you to hit them on a certain point. It's all about timing for the opener, but other than that, it's not complicated. Not every melee class is like that. I'd argue Dragoon's a little... Well, I mean, Dragoon... well, maybe not Dragoon, but like Ninja and Samurai can be a little confusing. But, I don't know. They're kind of streamlining them. And I get why. It's because we're getting like to the point where there's so many actions, they kind of have to. But I almost feel like... How do I put this? I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like as time goes on, the next time we get another level cap, we just need to like give like one upgraded move. Well, okay. I feel like maybe one new move and then everything else just upgrade it. Because I feel like we're getting to the point where hotbars are getting too full. And I just think, I don't know, it's too much sometimes. I don't want my screen to be littered with moves, is what I'm getting at. And some classes have a lot of moves. Some of them have very few. And I think we just need to focus on upgrading them and making new cool animations. I know that's not super exciting, but like every other expansion adding 1 to 2 new moves, because it's just too much. I mean, if we go on adding like 3 or more moves every expansion up until level 200, I mean, that's so much. And some people don't like to click. And the more you add, the harder it is to not click. Some people do purely buttons. I just don't know how they're going to go about it. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Red Mage. I'm not even going to go look at Red Mage because it's just 30, 30, 50, 50. A bunch of potency buffs for Red Mage. They just straight up said get more damage. Get the damage. Congratulations. Okay, Pictomancer. I think it's just to be popping up on it, but a palm will now appear on your canvas upon entering instanced duties or when restarting an encounter. A hammer will now appear on your canvas, entering instanced duties or when restarting an encounter. Starry Sky will now appear on your canvas. When entering the ground, effect will no longer appear when battle effects are set to show limited. Yeah, drawing before pulling. Yeah, so entering an instance duty and having this just automatically ready kind of is like how the dancer has to dance. It just kind of streamlines that for the Pictomancer because I guess their way of doing things is a little bit more tedious. Especially if you have to set up 3 different ones. It's a lot. And yeah, I have heard our friend Maya has talked about that a couple times. Healer Asuna, cast time has been made instant. That's really cool. That's actually really good. Asuna being an instant cast time. Just remove all the debuffs you can. Take everything away. Let's see. White Mage. Let's move on to the healers. Starting with Holy. They made Holy's cast timer 1.5 seconds. And Holy 3 is also 1.5 seconds. That's nuts. That's ridiculous. Asylum. Visual effects indicating the area of effect have been adjusted. Glare 3. Potency has been increased from 330 to 340. If I can speak. It's very cool. More damage from the White Mage. Flatus Misery. Potency has been increased from 1320 to 1360. So now that's just doing even more. My goodness. Divine Caress. Area of effect has been increased from 15 to 30 yalms. They doubled it? 30 yalm radius. How big is Asylum's? 50. It's bigger than Asylum now? It's bigger than Asylum. That covers like most battlefields in its entirety. That's like the exact size of like the entire battlefield. That's insane. What are they thinking? I guess it's a level 100 move. I mean, you know, I'm not going to complain about it. I don't want them to change it back. Did Scholar get nerfed? Oh, no, those are buffs. I just saw a bunch of numbers going down. I was like, wait, hold on. Embrace. Cure potency has been increased from 150 to 180. Okay, so pure potency. 180 from, what was it again? 150. So cure increase, that's mana cost reduced by 100 on that and Sucker, which I mean, that is really good. 1,000 mana cost per one of those moves does seem like a lot, but that's really good. The Veil, the cure potency is increased by 30, and we have 100 mana cost decrease on the rest of these as well. So Scholar is going to be more mana efficient. I don't know how bad the mana was before, but that does sound very nice to have. So congratulations to you guys. Okay, Astrologian just has 2. Area of effect has been increased from 5 to 8 yalms for Gravity and Gravity 2. Cool. Sage. MP cost reduction for 3 moves here. Potency increase for 3 moves of 10. MP cost reduction by 100 again later on, and a AoE increase by 10 up to 30 yalms. That's all really good. So not pretty interesting on the changes. Pretty good. Mostly buffs for classes. It looks like the only one that like didn't get a buff was, or that got nerfs, was really like Gunbreaker. I mean, other classes got nerfs, but Gunbreaker got hit the hardest with like these two. But this buff is so crazy that I don't think it matters. The drop rate for minions found in the final treasure chest of the following dungeon has been increased: Katisa's Hyperborea, the Adioscope, and the Dead Ends. All for Endwalker. New trial has been added. Minstrel's Ballad, Sven's Burden. Need 710 or above. We gotta do this as soon as possible. I'm very excited to try it. Let's see, new Alliance Raid Dungeon, Juno, the First Walk has been added. Oh, this looks sick. Oh, that entire thing looks epic. Ooh, we got some fancy fun. Is it a fork? Fork and a knife. Got sharks for hands. Why are there so many Lalafell pictures? Get them out of here. Ooh, spinning things for dancers. The machinist got a giant bouquet. Oh, they added a bunch of double die channel stuff. Oh, that's so much. That's so good. That's so good. The Scion stuff, the Oracle outfit, Gaia's attire, Crystarium. We got the, what I saw, hold on. We got the Mandervilius weapons. Those got 2 die channels now. Oh, that's so much stuff. That's so much stuff. Yeah, the Lodestar stuff. There's so many things that can do 2 die channels. Now, I thought they would retroactively do this. I remember when people were like, they didn't do that many things. I'm like, I feel like they're going to add them over time. I feel like they have to be adding them over time. They're not going to like drop them all at once. There's no shot. Because it also makes the updates more exciting. So like each update, they're probably going to drop a whole, probably not this many next time, because this is a lot. But they're probably going to add more and more as time goes on, because I bet they want everything to be 2 die channel if possible. New mounts have been added. Is that a mount? Oh, it's a mount. Look. You're riding on top. That is incredible. I want that mount. I bet you get it from that dungeon. I'm getting that mount. I don't care how many times I have to fight the snake thing. Graphical update. Graphical adjustments have been made to player character models based on feedback from the community. Okay. They improved the graphical fidelity of all of these outfit items. I mean, it's definitely not as like change the shading, the shape of the lips, some of the shading on the shoulder, and the glasses, which is interesting. Transparency effects have been added to the following gear. Oh, to match the skin color. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Character toe detail. No. No, I don't. Oh, you know, actually, you know what? I take it back. You know what? I take it back. You guys have done a good thing. I take it back. I don't want to see the before ever again. Look at these unwashed dogs. Oh, yo. Finally, someone took a bath. Oh my gosh. No, never show me the before picture ever again. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, I can definitely see the difference on that one. Wow. Oh, wow. Much more vibrant. That's nice. Oh, and the shadows. Okay, this game's like slowly creeping to, yeah, yo. If your computer can't handle this game, you gotta check. You can drop the graphics a lot, and I definitely suggest you do so. But if you're going up for the high end, be careful. This is getting a little strong for the game. Oh, that's a nice little like quality of life change. Now I can see how much crap is on the person. Very cool. Bunch of issues and known issues. All right. That concludes this overview of the patch 7.1. Any of the specific stuff you can look over yourself. I'm not going to do that. All right. Bye.